It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday. I'll start with the good news today. It's nearly 60 degrees. It's so warm out there this morning, almost laughably warm. And you know it's going to be another day in the Ozarks where we're talking about potentially breaking some record highs for the day. Not difficult to do so when temperatures are in the upper 50s and low 60s this morning. I don't think you need the jackets today. You can leave them behind. Maybe a long sleeve shirt if you're going to be out and about early today. Otherwise, things are just looking very warm for us, but incredibly windy in the Ozarks today. Other good news in the forecast, and I'll talk more about this in just a minute, is that not only are we talking warm spring-like temperatures today, we also are seeing really dry air in place, and that's decreasing the threat of severe weather as we head into tonight. I know we've been talking about the potential for some strong storms for several days now, and while some thunderstorms are definitely possible tonight, and that's a headline in my forecast, I really think the severe weather risk for the Ozarks is decreasing a bit compared to what it was looking like because we don't have a whole lot of moisture to work with. What we are dealing with is extremely warm and windy conditions today. And this is the bad news in the forecast. We're talking significant fire danger all across the Ozarks today. If you were considering burning, just don't do it. I mean, it is really not a great choice. We've got a wind advisory that's going to go into effect with winds gusting easily over 40 miles an hour, 45, maybe even close to 50 miles an hour. And that is non-thunderstorm winds. These winds are out of the southwest, so it's bringing in all of this incredibly warm air. If you're planning to head out and see what near 80 degrees feels like on this Tuesday, well, just know that the trade-off is the wind. It's going to be an incredibly blustery day, so maybe kind of frustrating if you're planning to be out for any extended period of time. We have all the key ingredients set up for high fire danger in the Ozarks. Again, that's a big headline for us today. Low relative humidity, high wind gusts, and dry ground conditions. That's what's in place for us today. I do have a cold front that's heading our direction and low pressure that's developing back to our west. That will result in the chance for some thunderstorms in the forecast, and I'm expecting that we see those develop after sunset tonight. I don't expect much activity before then. The real risk of severe weather is going to be east of the Ozarks, closer to the St. Louis area, the boot heel of the state, and then up through much of central Illinois, moving all the way to the Great Lakes. Showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast tonight through early tomorrow morning. We could see some of those linger. I don't think we get a whole lot in terms of moisture. There is a potential that a few of the storms that do materialize that could be a bit on the strong side. We're talking eastern Ozarks could produce some hail, some gusty winds out of those. I think those are the main concerns for us. But for the Springfield metro area, probably the window between 7 p.m. tonight and midnight is going to be the best chance to see some rain and storms. It's not a guarantee, though. The chance for storms only about 30% because of the really dry air and the lack of moisture in the Ozarks. What you will notice, and it's not going to be too pleasant, is that winter's back tomorrow in full force. So don't let today's warm temperatures ease you into any comfort that we're seeing spring-like weather. We are talking about cutting our temperatures in half tomorrow, a major, major temperature drop ahead. We're talking about maybe 20s showing back up in the forecast as early as Wednesday morning. And we're feeling like upper 30s all day long with a strong northwest wind. Wind chill factor is going to be like in the 20s through the day tomorrow. So a wild, wild swing here as we head into the middle of the week. Today, high temperature, 81 degrees. It's going to be very windy, very warm. If we hit that 81, it would be a new record here in Springfield. We are talking about that chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight, and then just blustery tomorrow, sunny and windy. I am expecting a high temperature near 40 for Springfield, but like I said, put a strong north wind on the 40 degrees. It's going to feel more like the 20s and 30s through the course of the day. So really, really cold on Wednesday. We do ease back into the warmth. 50 degrees is back on Thursday. Near 60-degree temperatures are back for us on Friday. Around the country, what's making headlines, not just critical fire danger here, but for much of us in the country, we are dealing with the high fire danger conditions in the plains and the southwestern portion of the country. Severe thunderstorms will, of course, make headlines tonight. I told you that risk really east of the Ozarks, and then record warmth engulfing the midsection of the country. That will be in the national weather headlines, as well as that much colder weather that settles in for Wednesday. The northern tier of the United States expecting sub-zero wind chills again. That's for the northern plains and the upper Midwest. So it'll be cold in the Ozarks and we'll feel it, but it won't be quite that cold. No sub-zero wind chills for us. So I guess we can be thankful for that. We'll focus on the 80-degree temperatures and the sunshine in the forecast today. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question. This is what I left you with yesterday, some candy history for you. The candy Starburst was once a chewy snack under a different name. Which name was it? And the options that I gave you were A, M&M's Fruit Chews, B, Skittles Fruit Chews, C, Welch's Fruit Chews, or D, Fun Dip Fruit Chews. The answer to that, this is a weird one. It's A, M&M's Fruit Chews. I have a hard time saying that. M&M's Fruit Chews. In my mind, that just absolutely does not describe Starburst. I think Starburst is a great name. You get that burst of flavor. Nice and sour. Originally, if you Googled this question to find the answer, you probably came up with a search result that said opal fruits. This was the original name for Starburst in the UK, where they were released from the Mars company. And then when they released them in the United States, they were called M&M's Fruit Chews. Not a great name, in my opinion. While the origination of the name Starburst is not certain, it is speculated that it was probably an attempt to express that burst of flavor at each bite and draw attention while space interest was at its peak during the space race back in the 1960s. So now you know. Hey, congrats if that was your answer. M&M's Fruit Chews. In my opinion, they probably made the right choice changing the name. I think chocolate. I hear M&M's and I just think a chocolate flavor, not a fruity flavor. All right, here's your question for tomorrow. Most major airlines frown on doing what on board of a flight? The list is long, but of these choices, what do you think? A, painting nails. B, crocheting or knitting. C, taking medication. D, sleeping too long. Most major airlines frown on doing what on board a flight? You can let me know your guess. Do that at aroundtheozarks.com. While you're there, we've got all the weather information for you up to the minute all day long. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you to our sponsors, Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. And thank you for listening today. It's warm, it's windy today, 81 degrees, but a southwest wind gusting over 40 miles an hour. Wind advisory in place across the Ozarks, so hold on a little bit tighter to that steering wheel if you're traveling this morning. I hope everyone stays safe, and we will